Innumerable species of animals have two distinct biological sexes. These genders, though, are distinguished by the way they package their DNA into something called gametes. Simply defined, gametes are sex cells that merge for the purpose of creating new organisms. Males manufacture reproductive seeds that are much smaller than the females. And what's more, the male and the female gametes are decisively different in their respective structures. A characteristic of female gametes is their immobility, that is to say, they remain stationary. As would be obvious, this then requires the male seed to exercise motility with its tail. We are most familiar, I suppose, with this in human reproduction as the swimming sperm seeks out the static egg to fertilize. This same biological process holds true with horses and cows, dogs and cats, elephants and hippos, tigers and lions, and the list goes on and on. Now, it is interesting to note that there are a few animals that reproduce asexually. That is to say, reproduction only requires one parent organism, and it results in genetically identical offspring. It's similar to that of a clone. Adapting to a lack of reproduction opportunities while in captivity, we know that there are some sharks that have been found to reproduce asexually. The Komodo dragon is the largest vertebrate animal known to reproduce without a mate. There is a female-only species, no males, only females, known as the whiptail lizard, that reproduces by producing an egg through something called parthenogenesis. In the absence of a male, female turkeys are known to produce fertilized eggs. But the prototypical form of reproduction among animals is ultimately males need females, and vice versa. I want to say that again. Males need females, and females need males. One cannot produce life without the other. It is interesting, I think, that the Bible not only conveys this truth in Matthew 19:4, but then goes so far as to explain how the relationships originated. The text reads, "He who made them," that speaks of God Almighty, "at the beginning made them male and female." That's a direct reference to the handiwork of God on the sixth day of creation, documented fully in the book of Genesis. Now, this reality of sexual reproduction poses, I think, a significantly difficult question concerning the evolutionary theory. Let's think this through together. If naturalism is true, I think that curiosity demands the question be asked, which came first in the model? Which came first in the evolutionary structure? If a male came into being before the female, how was the male of each species capable of reproducing absent the female? The idea that each sex of every species spontaneously coming into existence, in my mind, is problematic. Evolutionary teaching has not satisfactorily reconciled this challenge. Of that I am positive. Had we not evolved, think of this, exactly the same way, male and female at the same time, fertilization would not have been possible. Thousands of species are extinct today because males and females were not able to mate due to proximity issues. One last point. Science clearly reveals that each sex possesses complex reproductive systems. The systems are also complementary of one another. So if each sex was capable of reproduction without the other gender's involvement, how is it possible for them to develop a reproductive system that requires both sexes' involvement in order to survive? Which came first? I think that's worth considering. To me, there's incoherence in this evolutionary theory that seems to be untenable. The only cohesive answer to this question, I think, is found in the instantaneous creation of all things by a being who is capable of setting into motion the course of life. So with that said, I am convinced that the subject of gender, more specifically, sex, proves that the evolutionary model is faulty and that the creation account of the Bible is worth considering. Thanks for joining me on this particular episode of Reasons to Believe. I look forward to seeing you again next time.